A few years back, during my college days, a mysterious incident unfolded that still sends shivers down my spine. It was a chilly winter night, and the campus seemed deserted as most students had gone home for the holidays. I, however, decided to stay back in my dormitory, preferring the solitude and quietness. One evening, I heard a haunting melody echoing through the empty halls, a melody that seemed to resonate from a bygone era. Intrigued, I followed the spectral sound, which led me to an abandoned music room tucked away in a forgotten corner of the campus. The room was in a state of disarray, covered in a thin layer of dust, but the piano in the center emitted an eerie glow. As I approached the piano, the melody grew louder, filling the room with an otherworldly atmosphere. Suddenly, the piano keys began to play on their own, as if guided by an unseen force. In a trance, I witnessed ghostly apparitions dancing around the room, their movements synchronized with the haunting melody. Unable to tear my eyes away, I became part of the spectral performance, twirling and swaying to the ghostly rhythm. As the clock struck midnight, the haunting melody reached a crescendo, and the ghostly figures vanished into thin air. I stumbled out of the music room, disoriented and bewildered, questioning the reality of the supernatural spectacle I had just experienced. To this day, the haunting melody continues to linger in my mind, a ghostly reminder of that surreal night on the college campus. A few years ago, during my college days, a mysterious incident unfolded that still sends shivers down my spine. It was New Year's Eve, and the campus buzzed with the energy of celebration. I decided to attend a party, eager to welcome the new year, surrounded by friends and laughter. Amidst the music and laughter, a stranger caught my eye, a man with an unsettling presence, lingering on the outskirts of the festivities. As the night progressed, I glimpsed him in the periphery, always there but never quite approachable. Unease settled in when he eventually struck up a conversation, asking questions that felt intrusive. Politely declining his company, I distanced myself, hoping to lose him in the crowd. However, the stranger persisted, a disconcerting shadow following my every step. Concerned, I made the decision to leave the party, unaware that the night was about to take a more sinister turn. The next day, at my parents' home, I received a Snapchat friend request from an unfamiliar name, Bruce. A chill ran down my spine as I realized this was the same man from the party. How did he find me? Ignoring the request, I glanced out the window and froze. A car was parked near my parents' house, and to my horror, Bruce stepped out. Panic set in as he approached the front door, demanding to know where I was going. Swiftly, I contacted the authorities, detailing the unnerving events of the previous night. The police arrived, and after a thorough search, they apprehended Jake attempting to evade capture. It turned out he had used Snapchat's location feature to track me down. The incident underscored the potential dangers of social media and technology, leaving me to ponder the unforeseen risks that lurk in the shadows of our connected lives. On the eve of a typical New Year's celebration, young Lily, a 12-year-old, found herself haunted by the memory of a peculiar and unsettling encounter. After a night of board games and movies with her family, Lily retired to bed, only to be greeted by an eerie sight. Moonlight spilled through her bedroom window, revealing the tranquil facade of their quiet suburban street. Yet, as Lily approached the window, she noticed a shadowy figure standing in the front yard, facing away. Intrigued and uneasy, Lily peered out, only for the figure to turn and gaze directly at her. A woman, unfamiliar and unnervingly silent, seemed to beckon Lily closer with an outstretched hand. Frozen in fear, Lily witnessed the woman outside throwing sticks at her window, each impact sending shivers down her spine. The woman's gestures became urgent, a silent plea for entry, as if trapped in a realm between the living and the unknown. Torn between fear and curiosity, Lily hesitated, grappling with the inexplicable presence at her window. The night lingered, with each thrown stick echoing a cryptic message, a puzzle that begged to be solved. At dawn, the mysterious woman vanished, leaving Lily and her family bewildered, haunted by the enigma of that fateful New Year's Eve. This is a gloomy town, where the night shrouds the moonlight with steel-gray clouds. The streets are empty, and the lights in the windows tremble as if they could be blown out by the wind at any moment. On the outskirts of this town, there is an abandoned orphanage that has been deserted for years, filled with moth-eaten curtains and rotten beams. People say it's cursed, and no one dares to approach. The story unfolds during a night shift of a young woman named Alice, who works at the only gas station in this desolate town. On a chilly autumn night, she stares into the darkness outside, feeling a hint of loneliness and unease. At midnight, an old car slowly parks at the gas station, its engine emitting a low, eerie sound. Alice feels an eerie sensation as the entire town is immersed in its silence. She walks out of the gas station to inspect the car. However, it's empty except for an old doll on the back seat, its eyes seemingly fixated on her. Alarmed, Alice decides to return to the gas station. As she turns to leave, she hears faint whispers, as if coming from inside the car. She stops, and in the hushed whispers, she vaguely makes out some spine-chilling words. Approaching the car again, crouching down, she observes through the window. The doll's eyes flicker with a faint light, and its mouth opens, emitting an unbearable screaming sound. Terrified, Alice jumps back as the light inside the car grows brighter. She watches as the figure of the doll gradually becomes visible, a burnt and blurred little girl doll, with disheveled hair, holding a tiny steel knife. Alice screams in horror, but the lights in the gas station suddenly go out, plunging the entire space into darkness. She feels a chilling wind, and echoes of the little girl's scream linger in her ears. In the darkness, Alice feels entwined by something, unable to move forward. She swings her arms, trying to break free from this invisible restraint. Just as she feels suffocated, a shadow emerges from the darkness, the little girl doll, its steel knife gleaming. Alice screams, realizing she can't escape. The doll approaches, seemingly smiling but with eyes filled with cruelty. It raises the steel knife, a cold wind blows, the gas station's lights return, and the little girl doll disappears without a trace. Alice slumps on the ground, covered in cold sweat. She understands this is not just an ordinary doll, but an embodiment of some malevolent spirit. She struggles to soothe her mind, stumbling back to the gas station. The next day, after reporting to the police, Alice learns that the forgotten orphanage had a devastating fire, causing injuries and deaths to many children. The little girl doll is believed to be the soul of one of the victims, dormant for years until awakened. Since then, Alice never dares to approach the abandoned orphanage. Yet, whenever night falls, she can still hear the eerie screams echoing in the wind, stirring the deepest fears in her heart.